When I was in high school, I was an okay student. I wasn't a great student. I had okay grades. I had just enough good grades to get into the National Honor Society. A lot of schools have this. It's kind of like an elite organization where if you have some okay grades and you've never been expelled, then you get into this kind of elite organization. And so we had an assembly where they invited all of us who got in, and out of our class of 500 students, 430 of us got in. So I don't feel like I'm bragging. Like I knew a kid who literally stabbed another kid with a mechanical pencil, and he got in. But we came to this assembly, and they were like, you didn't get expelled. And we're like, we know. And then we left. And that day, I was going to my psychology teacher's classroom to ask for a deadline extension for an essay for the second time. And I was dreading it. I knew I was going to be completely embarrassed, but I felt like this was the only way to save my grade. So I go to my teacher's class, and there's a bunch of kids there that are all signing a blank piece of paper. And my teacher looks at me, and he's like, Ryan, what are you doing here? And I'm like, I'm here to sign the paper. So I just signed the paper, and then I grabbed my friend who had also signed it, and I said, what did I just sign up for? And he goes, you just signed up to run for NHS president. You have to give a speech tomorrow. And I'm like, no. That night, I spent all night working on this speech, and it was awful. It was bland. It was just totally cliche, but I didn't care because I didn't want to win. You know, I just wanted to give this speech and get off stage. But my brother, who's actually a campaign manager, had a great idea. He said, Ryan, if you want to win, all you have to do is just say something bold. Just say something unique. That's all you have to do to win. And this was actually a pretty good advice because I knew what was going to happen. There was 12 of us running, and 11 of us were going to go on stage and just rattle off our qualifications because 11 of us had qualifications. I had no qualifications. The only extracurricular that I had in high school was that I was president of the school Scrabble club, which consisted of me and my 3 friends once a year for 4 years playing one game of Scrabble and then going to Dairy Queen afterwards. We spent more time taking the club yearbook photo than we did actually playing Scrabble. So the next day, I go to school, and we're at this assembly, and we're all giving our speeches. I was the last one to give a speech because I was the last one who signed up. And halfway through watching these speeches, I think, you know what, I kind of actually want to win this thing. So I throw away my old speech. I get up to the podium, and I say, hi, as NHS president, here's what I want to do. We're going to go into the city, and we're going to hand out socks to homeless people, and we're going to call it Socks in the City. And then I said, get it? And they did not. And then I said, and then we're going to go to the beach, and we're going to hand out socks to homeless people on the beach, and we're going to call it Socks on the Beach. And I said, get it? And they still didn't. So I ended my speech by saying, a vote for me is a vote for Socks in the City, and I got off stage completely regretting everything that had led to this moment. I couldn't sleep that night. I was so embarrassed. The next day, I was sitting in the cafeteria eating by myself, and my teacher comes up to me and he says, I can't believe I'm saying this, but everyone voted for the socks guy. And he wasn't joking. It was a write-in vote, and no one knew my name. So they just wrote in the socks guy. And that's how I became president of the National Honor Society at school. So, and if you're wondering if we actually did any of those projects, we did not. So.